instructions were, like, after, like, we built the rocket or launched it, we would go straight to our computers and write down what we remembered. Those were our instructions.
So right after you launched the rocket, you had to remember.
In.
How did that help with the presentation?
It would help because we have everything fresh in our mind about what just happened.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll also help, like what Will was saying, because it's like almost as if you're in spelling tests. People say if you type things out, you will remember it because the words are not in front of you, so it'll be easier because it'll mean that you have good memory. And yeah, and then after that we made bullets for our slides, and that even helped even more for our memory because.
So the memory was for your presentation. What had to go into the presentation? Yeah.
Everything that we did with our rocket. Everything that we did along the way. Like, there was, like, our paper of measuring the feet. We had a slide on building and decorating.
Cool. So, actually, I'm going to ask Miss Edwards to flip through some of the slides so we can look at them as we go. Let's keep trying to face the microphone as we talk. So there's the title page. There's your inspiration board. Tell me what your inspiration board was, because I actually see the poster in front of us too now. Yeah.
Our inspiration board actually, like the word actually helped it, because inspiration, what we mean is that when we print out quotes and information of the rockets, first thing is that it shows you what kind of rocket idea you can make with the fins, the nose cone, and the body. And the quotes show how important rocketry was, especially around like the mid 1900s, because there's a quote, and it says, "What is pride? A rocket that illuminates the stars," which means that they're saying that of the rocket it's very important and wonderful.
So you guys kind of learned even a little bit about the history of rockets. So you had inspiration. We've talked about research and design. What else? What other slides? Let's keep going through them a little bit and see if we get to one that's interesting. You learned about building rockets, and then that's not your rocket being launched right now, right? That's not what it looked like.
No.
Okay, that's somebody else's. Okay. Keep calm and study on. What's that about? Why did you guys put that on there? Yeah.
Well, I added rockets on because I thought that it means that we was like studying rocketry, which means that we're like learning about rocketry, so and thinking about it, kind of like in a way, studying about it, because it was like a brainstorm, but.
And I see that says second rocket. So you guys built a second rocket?
Yes, we built 3 rockets.
Okay. So you built your first one. You launched it.
We did really well.
It did really well. Did that make it harder to build the second one?
No, because we kind of wanted to make the same exact rocket, except at the end of the first rocket, our nose cone was like hanging off. So in the second rocket, we tried to make our nose cone better, but it turns out that when we launched it, our nose cone popped off.
So your second rocket wasn't as good as your first rocket?
Yeah.
No.
That wasn't the plan, was it?
No, we were hoping that every time we would increase.
So, but what did happen? Second rocket, then the third rocket? Tell me
Third
about
rocket did amazing.
Oh,
It went
okay.
like the highest in the class.
Wow.
It spun like crazy. At the end of it went so high, it came back down. And this time our nose cone was so strong, it whirled into the ground. It was literally like standing up.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a video.
Maybe we can show
Okay.
you a video like
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see that video. Is the video in the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bit past.
But the only reason it went so high is because we risked our whole model, and it was only made out of paper,
Yeah.
Okay.
and only a little bit of electric tape.
So you took a risk here.
Yes.
Yeah,
This was a big risk.
This
for
was a big
us.
risk
Yeah, but it
because
paid off.
your second rocket had failed,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
I
you
mean,
built this rocket.
We wanted to try something new.
Okay, that's a good reason to try something. So we're watching the video now. This is very dramatic. Whoa!
It's really hard to see.
I didn't see it.
Then it comes down.
Oh wow! It did stick in there. I even heard it stick in the ground.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's
and
still
still
There's still to this day dirt on the nose cone.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And this time it stayed on.
In our presentation, I was showing people the rocket. I was like, our thermal did really well. The nose cone fell to the ground, and I said, as you can see, there's still dirt.
There's still dirt. There's a dramatic sort of ending to your presentation, and the crowd was hushed. Okay, let's take a step back and talk about what you learned here. What do you like about these kinds of projects? Because I'm assuming that you don't build rockets every day, because we don't do that at Fox Meadow. Yeah, what do you like about these kinds of projects?
The first thing that I like about it is that it's fun because it's almost like art class. And the second thing is that I liked it because we learn new words like thrust and pull and PSI. And even if we don't really look it up, in a way we can understand that it has to do with pressure. And also we know what the rocket parts look like. So if we ever wanted to be an engineer when we grow up, we could actually, it's like a beginning learning of an engineer. I mean, even though we didn't have like a parachute for the rocket, it still like went down, but it went down harder. But it was still like
cool. What's your thought on that? What did you like about this kind of project?
Because it was fun. I mean, it's fun thinking of an neighborhood. It's fun printing out pictures for an inspiration board. It's fun being fun. And the most fun is when we got to launch the rocket. Because we put all our hard work into one day when we launched the rocket. One moment when we launched the rocket.
Sure.
I think this project was really exciting. Like about building a rocket and letting it see how high it will go. It's just really exciting.
Cool. So I want to go back to your hard work point. How did you feel on that day of the second rocket when you did all that you said? You'd had success the first time. You put in more work, and the nose cone fell off. Just tell me a little bit about how you felt.
I felt a little bit disappointed, not very, because we learned from our mistakes. We didn't make a sturdy nose cone. We didn't. And then we tried to, but we didn't. It popped off. So we were like, next time we gotta buckle down on the nose cone.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought that it was disappointing. I mean, but I was happy that it at least wasn't. At least it launched and wasn't like it didn't go the lowest. It actually went at least third.
No, we got second.
Oh, second. But I mean, it wasn't like the highest, but it was still very successful. But it still could have done better because it was upsetting because it was less than last time.
Sure. Your thought?
Yes, I did think it was disappointing because I thought it was going to go higher because it was kind of like a first rocket, but even better. So it was really disappointing.
Sure. Were you guys graded on how high each rocket went?
No, but we did check how much feet it was because
So you
we had
measured it.
kilometers,
Yeah.
and we had this chart. It's right there.
Sure. I see the chart on the slide.
And so we started out with a flagpole at the front of the school, and that's how we learned, as I said. And so that's what it really is at a rocketry. And so we were able to convert the kilometers, degrees into feet, and not all of the kilometer were perfectly accurate on the first one, but that's understandable because we didn't have a lot of practice on it.
So you made mistakes learning how to measure
Yes.
as well, but you got better by doing that as well
Everyone
to learn using the tool, the kilometer. Okay. Let me go back to that grading question. Do you think it would have been fair to give you a grade for how high your rockets went? Do you think you would have liked that?
You know what? Actually, I would be fine with it because if we got a low grade, we would know we had to do better. If we got a high grade, I mean, we could make a few tweaks, but then we know our rocket's good.
What were you thinking?
I think that if it's based on how high the rocket would go, I don't think that's very necessary because in real science, you're going to make like mistakes like in medicines and foods, and like no one's going to be grading you because you messed up. Because in a way, it's kind of like a prototype, but in a way, it's real. But it's like showing what you need to work on, but still that it's similar to like a real like big rocket. It's
Cool.
like a cousin to the rocket.
Okay. You got a thought? And I got one more question for the
Yeah,
group.
I don't think we should get a grade on it because if a group didn't do that good, but they had really fun, but when we see their grade, like they might get really disappointed, and then they're like, oh, we should have done this or that, to like make them think about the mistakes they did and they'll feel bad.
Sure. I'd like to finish with this question. You guys are in 5th grade.
Yeah.
You're going off to middle school. If you could give advice to future teachers about the kinds of projects and the kind of learning you like to do, what would you tell them based on this rocket experience? Think about it for a second. Is that an idea?
Well, maybe we could like continue on building things, like kind of like an engineering group, like on robots or like anything that has to do with pressure, or if we could make like a real airplane or a little helicopter, and kind of like in a way it's kind of like launching, but it won't be. You'll have to use control, but it will still be more advanced. But
Cool.
we're going to be advancing.
Sure. Your thought on that? Advice to future teachers about projects.
Keep going with this project. It's a fun project. Helps kids learn about rockets. And rockets are actually cool to study about.
So you think Miss Edwards should teach it to other 5th graders?
Yeah, I think Miss Edwards should definitely keep on going with this.
But what about you? What would you like to tell your future teachers?
My future teachers teach us more about rockets, teach us about engineering. I like to learn about moving things. Like, I want to learn about, like, trains, how cars work, stuff like that. So I think that future teachers teach stuff like rockets.
Cool. How about you?
Like for future teachers, I noticed a lot of kids like building stuff or like doing some sorts of experiment, and because they really think it's fun.
Sure.
And some other projects like are just about like work and stuff, and then like it gets like too boring sometimes.
So let me ask you this, because it's only December, and I think that you guys, even in 5th grade, have a chance to do some projects like this, whether it's with science or whether it's through your capstone project. Would it be okay if I came back and talked to you maybe in the springtime to see if you took what we learned? Any other thoughts before I go?
Well, one more thought is that I think that I agree with Luca, and I think that also I think that every 5th grade in the district should be able to learn how to do rocketry or some kind of engineering, and that maybe we could like show photos like on the websites of what the rockets look like, because I see sometimes there's like on the Scarsdale schools thing, it's a little slideshow of these children or like what they're working on. I think that we should put like each school's science.
Cool. You like to share, and you'd like to see what other kids are doing in other schools?
Yeah.
Cool. How about you?
I agree with Annabelle. I think that we should like spread this kind of work. I think every like school district should have a grade where you get the chance to build something, because like I keep on saying, it was fun and I liked it. It's fun to have a team, fun to have a teammate. This stuff is fun, so I think that people should grade. Every school should have a chance to do something.
Cool. How about you?
Yes, I think every 5th grade should do the rocketry projects because it's fun, and also you'll learn about rocketry and like how it gets made.